I was going to include this in my last video about the girl who shaved her head on the Villanova campus, but I wanted this to have its own separate video. It's something I don't hear very often, and that kind of surprises me. But there's a woman named Reverend Tandaica, if you've never heard of her, a Unitarian minister, who wrote a piece titled "Why Anti-Racism Will Fail." And there is a particular piece from it that explains why it is the theory of privilege is so flawed. In her example here, her hypothetical is this. Imagine that business and government leaders decreed that all left-handed people must have their left hand amputated. Special police forces and armies are established to find such persons and oversee the procedure. University professors and theologians begin to write tracts to justify this new policy, and soon, right-handed persons begin to think of themselves as having right-hand privilege. The actual content of this privilege, of course, is negative. It's the privilege of not having one's left hand cut off. The privilege, in short, is the avoidance of being tortured by the ruling elite. To speak of such a privilege, if we must call it that, is not to speak of power, but rather of powerlessness in the midst of a pervasive system of abuse, and to admit that the best we can do in the face of injustice is duck and thus avoid being a target. But you can sum all that up with a single sentence. The heading of that little piece that she wrote: "The absence of oppression is not privilege."